Juan-o's World.
My baby mama trippin', she been going through my phone. Tired of me cheating, I can't leave these hoes alone. Hella pics, hella tips on my cash app. It's like, hold up. What up, though, y'all? What is going on? I know it's a lot going on, and people been inboxing me, calling me on my phone, and I got a lot to say, but I ain't gonna say it to y'all. Sorry. That's what Detroit versus everybody is about. You know what I'm saying? And I know Detroit versus everybody is under siege or under question right now. But please believe, no matter what you see, and no matter who you see doing and saying what to who, would nobody be mad if they ain't have love? Period. And I'm gonna leave that on that. But this story about 42 Dugg, 42 Dugg, has been going around circulating. If you know Juan-o, I don't want to put nothing out there until I talk to the horse, or at least the veterinarian. So, we got the story from the horse mouth. And not 42 from the dude they say pressed him. Let's check it out. You know what I'm saying? Let's check it out. Oh, no, we ain't playing this video right now. We're going to leave that alone.
All right, y'all. This prison story is about when I tried to extort the Detroit rapper 42 Dugg in prison, but it went terribly wrong. So, as y'all know, every Tuesday we get brand new inmates, right? Okay. So, me and the homies over here in the corner shooting dice, right? So, the door popped, boom. So, there's 3 white guys and there's 2 black guys, but one of the black dudes is really short, like about the same height as Mighty Mouse, right? Now, when he came in, I'm looking because he looked like my nephew. And like,
the nigga he taller than Mighty Mouse, dog. Come on, man. Come on, cut him some slack.
You know, I'm looking at him, but my nephew ain't nothing but 10 years old. So it kind of took me back, like, what the, right? You know, when you see somebody and you got to take a double look. So I'm looking and I said, damn, man, dude like my nephew. But I know it's not him because he's 10 years old, right? So my partner like, hey, man, that's Dugg. I said, Dugg, who is that? He was like, man, that's that rapper dude in Detroit. He from the D. He from where we from. I said, what?
Okay.
What? Now, listen, Detroit got a lot of rappers there, a lot of rappers. It's like 1,000 rappers there, but only maybe 5 make it out every.
I wouldn't say it's 1,000 rappers. It's just that everybody feel they can rap, and a lot of dudes can, or everybody just want to get their one rap out. But most of us do other stuff, and we just so happen to rap. You know what I'm saying? Or want to rap, or we got to rap for ourselves. Some of us make music to ride around, listen. We make songs for us to listen to, but whatever.
10 years, and, you know, 42 Dugg is one of them guys that done made it out. Now, I'm not on the rap scene. I'm not really into the rap culture, like, at all. I rarely even listen to music. So I don't know who this guy is, but my homeboy like, yeah, man, that's 42 Dugg, man. He making some noise in the D, man. Matter of fact, he making noise everywhere. Matter of fact, that's the guy that got into it with Offset in a dice game.
So now you know the timing of this story or whatever. And then this story with Offset is a whole nother thing that people been saying about Dugg. Now, this is my thing about Dugg. The man is the size he is. But he ain't ran from a bag down from nothing. And to me, that's respectable. And what's not respectable is all of these people that say they tough only trying to try him. Because you can say whatever you want to about Dugg. In a physical confrontation, more times than not, he wouldn't be expected to win. But the fact that he don't bag down from him is respectable within itself. The fact that somebody twice the height of this dude would even bother picking on him says more about that motherfucker than it does Dugg. But that's just Juan-o's opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's just Juan-o's opinion.
I'm like, Offset? Who the fuck is Offset? He's like, man, Cardi B ex-husband. I'm like, oh, okay. Right?
Look, he entertaining with the story. You could tell where a nigga be front. Cardi B ex-husband. They was still together at that point.
So I'm like, all right, whatever. So my other homeboy, like, hey, Donte, man, you ain't going to approach him? I said, yeah, I'm going to get at him. Now, for those that may not know, what I used to
Nigga, we don't know. You ain't told us yet.
Do in prison, my business was to make it my business to offer you protection, okay? And you will pay me. Now, everybody paid me in different ways, different amounts. Some people would pay me $500 a month. Some people, it done got to about 100 bands a month, $100,000.
Now, it's this whole argument going around right now about rappers going into protective custody or not while they in jail or prison. And why would you want to deal with this type of shit? Why? If you got the option to not do something that's not beneficial to your health or your peace of mind or your pocket, why would you not do it? Why? I mean, I stand on a high moral code, but when it comes time to pay that tab, I don't look for nobody else to put in on it. But a lot of people don't necessarily have my moral code. Anyway, we get into that.
One point in time, I was getting out of somebody, but that's a whole nother story. But before we go on, y'all do me a favor right quick. Hit that like button for your big partner right quick.
Now, we ain't about to hit the like button right now because we doing this video. Plus, I already liked and hyped this video because I would like for the real story to get out. Know that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, shout out to the Donte Show Network. That's who this channel is, the Donte Show Network.
So I'm like, yeah, I finna go over there. So I had one of my homeboys hold my commissary or whatever because I wasn't done in this dice game. So I see what cell he go into. So I bounce over there and I knock on the door like, not, because it's disrespectful to just walk in somebody's cell. So I get.
Now see, look at his moral code. He knows what respect is, but he don't know that it's disrespectful to try to press another man. I mean, depending on what you pressing him for. This basically sounds like friendly extortion.
Gave him the common courtesy and I just knocked on the door. And he turned around, he was like, what's up? I said, you Dugg? He was like, yeah, who is you? I said, man, I'm Donte. He was like, all right, nice to meet you. I said, you running with anybody? He was like, yeah, I'm rolling with these Bloods. I said, Bloods? He was like, yeah.
Okay. So it's been alleged that while in prison, 4-2 was running with some Bloods. Now, that may not seem like a big deal, but it's been made to seem like a big deal, and maybe it is to some, because 4-2 allegedly is Crip adjacent. Now, what I want to tell you about gangs as they extend to Detroit is like this. We going by the streets that go east to west. It's 8, 7, 6, Puritan, Finkel, and on down. The same way like on the east side is 8, 7, 6, blah, 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 Warren, so on and so forth. That's what separates Detroit, then east and west. But I should make a video about this period, but I'm just going to say this in a short form. We have lineage to Chicago that extends from the Black Power movement. And when the Black Power movement, well, really the whole Rainbow Coalition, because you got to add in, the Latinos as well too. And then when the forks broke, depending on the neighborhood that was more heavy adjacent, the different streets and miles are partial to different sides in Chicago. So we have, and that's deep. So we have that lineage. But in Detroit, where it broke off at was on Black Power. It's before niggas started going against niggas. But it was still a mandatory thing that you knew the lineage and the rules, regulations of said nation. We'll leave it at that. Now, where the red and blue comes in at is depending on what neighborhood or what color out west and what neighborhood here pipeline shit back and forth. So in most neighborhoods in Detroit, you got your Chicago organization lineage that go back to when it first started. And the same thing in Los Angeles, but in Oakland, we all left off on Black Power. So the relationship between Oakland and Detroit is very different than Detroit and any other city, as well as vice versa. So I hope I helped y'all understand that. So 4-2 is Crip adjacent, allegedly. But for this story, he's been accused of running with Bloods, and the guy that tried to extort him is telling us that 4-2 told him he was being represented by some Bloods in the prison system.
Yeah. I was like, well, ain't no Bloods up in here, so what's happening? And I'm gonna be real with y'all, even though, 42 Dugg is on the short side, that dude got heart. He got heart because y'all know I'm like 6'1", and at that time I was pushing at least a good 240, 250, jacked up, stacked up, right?
And to me, that's all that mattered. So in Juan-o's world, 4-2 got his respect because the nigga that tried to press him is already telling you he respected him because he got heart. Or he respected him because of the heart. He even throwing that in the story. He ain't have to put that in there. He could have ran with the narrative that's out here and just shitted on Dugg, but that ain't what he doing. That ain't what he doing at all. So let's continue.
So, he was holding his ground. He didn't seem like, he was intimidated by my posture, of my presence, right? So I felt that from him. But I also know, like, if I come in here and put my hands on him, there's nothing that he can do. You know what I'm saying?
Now, hold on. Y'all tall niggas always think that. I want every tall motherfucker watching this video to know this. A short person has been short their whole life. The older they get, the more tall people have tried to take advantage of. So when you dealing with a short dude that then made it to 30, 40 from the hood, his ability and knowledge of what to do when somebody bigger than you comes at you, he's a fucking Rhodes Scholar by that point. Not to say he can't get got, but that's what I'm saying.
So I pressed the issue. So I'm like, so you rolling with the Bloods? And he was like, yeah, I just said that. Now, the way he said it with a little attitude, and my anger built up, right? Now, I didn't know how loud I was, but I started getting angry. And I was like, what you say? He was like, I told you I'm rolling with the Bloods, but I don't even need nobody to hold me down. I can hold myself down. Now me and him arguing. back
on
and
it.
forth, right?
He stood
Because
on it.
now I'm like,
He stood on it. He stood on it. Now this the nigga that they say press 4-2 in the joint, telling you the story, and he telling you in a small area, he bigger than him. 4-2 still stood.
hold on, this dude actually bucking on me? Do he not know who I am? So I start to walk in his cell, and then this dude named Bone from Detroit step in, like, hey, hold up, Donte, hold on. I'm like, hey, hold on, nigga, bag up. He like, no, hold on, man, I can't let you do that, man. That's my homeboy, man. That's one of my homeboys. Now, me and this dude Bone, no, this is not Bone from Flint, Michigan. This is not Bone that I told y'all about that was, programming real crazy, right? But this is the dude named Bone from Detroit, right? And he an OG from Livernois or whatever. So he stepped in like, no, I can't let you do that. This my homeboy. So I say, your homeboy? He like, yeah, this is my homeboy. I said, all right, you got it. Then I walked off. Now, what I did not know, this dude, he didn't know him, man. Dude was clout chasing like a mug. He did that to get some brownie points. He didn't know 42 at all. He ain't know this dude.
And that's this has been spoke on a lot, but that's what Detroit versus everybody is. Simply. And really it's not Detroit, it's the whole Michigan, the whole glove. What y'all don't understand is when you leave Michigan with a Michigan license plate on your car, whether you white or black, or it's a lot of Pakistanis here, it's a lot of different people, it's a lot of upper peninsula, it's a lot of people from Finland, it's a lot of people that didn't have it right where they was, and they came here and built a life for themselves. The whole thing, when you leave Michigan, no matter where you're going, you're going to have to go through Ohio. What a lot of people don't know is the lower part of Michigan used to belong to Ohio, or was supposed to belong to Ohio. And Michigan, Ohio, and Ohio as states been having a beef for God knows how long. And seeing how I was a trafficker, Ohio is the heartland of America. So most of the places that you're going, if you cross in America, you're going to have to touch through some part of Ohio. And Ohio is a very, very vindictive place, even though they help with the Underground Railroad movement. You know what I'm saying? Which will tell you the difference between the black people from Ohio and the ones from Detroit. And the ones from Canada. That's American. But that's a whole nother video.
At all, but
Oh, but the Detroit versus everybody. The nigga who stepped in, Bone, that's what he was supposed to do. Period.
I guess he felt like if he would step in and intervene on his behalf towards me, that he'd get some brownie points or whatever. Now I will find this out later, and well, it's something. Some consequences came behind that. But anyway, so I go downstairs and I get back in the game, and my homeboy like what's that? What's happening? I said, nah, he ain't going. I'm gonna leave it alone. He was like, what? Man, dude, Rich, man, you better go press, dude. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna leave him alone, man. He talking about he running with the Bloods, whatever. And I don't really feel like getting into it with these dudes, whatever. And he was like, man, how you don't know if he pump faking? Now, for those that don't know what pump faking is basically pretending, right? That's basically what pump faking is. I was like, I think he really liked that. He was like, man, dude, you know how much money you can get up out of him? I said, yeah, but I don't think he gonna go for it. And let me give y'all a quick side.
I don't see how. I mean, you gotta eat how you gotta eat. But my thing with all of that shit, all this extortion, or even niggas pressing niggas, throughout my career of just being a man, throughout my development of just being a man from the streets to legitimacy, all of that, I've seen black men be willing to kill another black man in front of his mama, right? But when the police come, they get on their knees fast as hell. And for those of y'all that don't know, that's how I got the name Juan-o. It had gotten to a point where, as far as people that I knew, they didn't even want to ride in a car with me. Because no matter if I'm dirty or not, it's certain shit I ain't going for. And then in Detroit, if you ain't got a dirty gun on you at this time, if you ain't have a dirty gun on you or more than an ounce of shit on you, the police didn't want to waste their time with it anyway. They was looking for niggas with dirty guns and kilos, or you know what I'm saying, or a big broke down, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. Or people with warrants, you know, they was looking for that. So several times, and maybe the car wasn't straight, no matter what it was, I tripped out on the police. So, you know, it's like, wow, no, what are you doing? I have an offense. I'm offended by black men that's willing to go the 100-yard dash on other black men, but willing to bow down when the white man tell you to do something. And not just the white man, any man. I'm offended whenever I see any black male that's willing to go at other black males past the 100-yard line, but not willing to say anything or give any type of resistance to others.
Line. In prison, there's predators and there's prey. Me, I was predator. You know, I'd be damned if I was gonna become prey, right? But the reason why I bring this up because I want to end.
And that's why a lot of niggas to me don't classify as street niggas. Because not saying this dude specifically, but a lot of people get out here and go to attacking people because they scared. Not because that's who they is. Because they scared.
Light in the audience or something. Normally predators, they prey on the weak, right?
See?
Case in point, let's say when I approached 42 Dugg the first time, right? When I approached him and he didn't check me. That right there would have let me know like he's soft and I can keep pushing this line on him and eventually I can extort him and get a whole bunch of money up out of him.
And that's why, kids, you got to stand up for yourself. You got to stand up for yourself. A punch in the face hurts way less than a kick in the ass. Sometimes after a kick in the ass, you won't never get up again. Sometimes you can't stand up straight after. You know? And then not only that, if you defending yourself, if you decide that you're going to defend yourself and you get the first punch, then at least you got to hit in before you took a punch in the face. You know? And that's what really count, that you stood up for yourself. Not none of this superhero, you got to do everything right.
Our predators, we don't always want to get an issue. Or right. What I'm really trying to say is don't nobody want to get stabbed, right? I'd rather go after somebody that I know that's not gonna fight back and don't give me no hassle, you know, because
and this is the problem with the street code as these motherfuckers be trying to represent it. This is the fucking problem. Like, they want to encourage you to not protect it yourself. They want to encourage you to not take every option you have to win. They want to encourage you to try to win a game with a playbook this motherfucking thin while they working with a playbook this thick. That's what the fuck they want to encourage you to do. And I've been a nigga that fucking walked that tightrope. And the same niggas telling you that not don't snitch and all that shit, when the cuffs on their hand, when they in the bullpen for some shit that they did, they gonna call you on the phone and tell you, yo, Nito, shit bigger than Nino Brown. What? That's what they gonna do. When a motherfucker that tell you soft, when it come time for y'all to put the murder game down and you get your bitch car over there that fits in with everybody's car and you got the stolen license plate, you got the dirty gun, that's the same caliber as the legit gun, and you going to put that work in for some shit that happened to him, for some motherfuckers that stabbed him over some shit he was doing, but now it happened in effect and y'all business. When you ready to do that from a nigga that's been telling you you nice and you soft or whatever, oh man, I don't think we should do that. So don't buy into this street code shit that motherfuckers is telling you. Because anybody telling you what the fuck you should be doing as far as the streets go, guaranteed in that situation 9 times out of 10, they ain't gonna do it. A real street nigga gonna stop you from going down that road. Not have a conversation with you about what you should do now that you in it. That's all I'm saying. So all that, whether a nigga should check PC or should not, yo. A motherfucker tell you ain't following street code because, or you soft because you had people killed and ain't do it yourself. But they ain't killed nobody. A motherfucker tell you all type of shit if you let them. Don't be listening to that shit. You got to do what's right for you from the beginning. And then you got to have your own moral compass involved in your decisions before it go bad. Don't put yourself in a car you ain't willing to ride off the cliff in. Period. As soon as you know that bitch got a bad tire, brakes ain't right. I'm metaphorically speaking to you, but I'm real life talking to you too. You know motherfuckers ain't got no insurance. Why you gonna let your kids ride with them? A, B, C, D.
My worst fear in prison was getting stabbed. I don't care how big you are. I don't care how tough you are. Don't nobody want to get stabbed. Okay, I done been poked 3 times already. And it wasn't fun.
No shit.
The reason why I bring that up again is to let y'all know that most predators go after the weak and vulnerable, that they know ain't gonna be no pushback, right? So anyway, I'm like, nah, man, I don't feel like dealing with it, man. I do seem like he'd be a headache. So my homeboy like, man, all right, man, whatever. Now, my homeboy, he was an extortionist too. All right, now he wasn't a part of my clique. Now, you know, my clique consists of Al, Tar T, Homicide, DK, D.
Well, name all the extortion.
Tom, Westside, J Rock, before we have to put J Rock out of the group. Let me do a fun fact right quick. For those that have been watching me for years, put it in the comment section. So anyway.
Put it in the comment section.
My homeboy, I'm just gonna call him P Nice. We're gonna call him P Nice. So P Nice, like, man, bump that, man. I don't give a who he rolling with, man. I need some of that bread. I need some of that money. I said, all right, man, you got it. So he go upstairs, right? And he just walked into 42 Dugg's cell, just walked right in there, right? Now, I'm assuming the dude Bone is in there, right? I guess Bone in there talking to him about whatever. I don't know, right? I done tunes already out. So then I hear, oh, what you gonna do? You gonna do this? You gonna do this? It's like that? It's like that? You gonna do this? This was Pete Nice saying to Bone, right? And I'm like, man, what the fuck is going on? So everybody looking that way, like, what the heck going on? So then 42 Dugg just come out to say with his hands up, like, hey man, y'all need to chill, man. Ain't nobody. And then he just got up on the tip, like, hey, all y'all motherfuckers listen up, right? This is what 42 Dugg doing. He on the second tier and he getting up on the bar. And he like, hey, all you motherfuckers listen up. I'm not going for nothing. I ain't going for nothing. I'm from the D. And besides that, I'm a man. Ain't no motherfucking body extort me. I ain't getting nobody plugged into nothing.
Hello. And that's all the fuck I'm saying. It's about being a man, win, lose, or draw. I'm glad this nigga being honest about what really went on in that motherfucker, because can't take that away from 4-2 Dugg. The nigga was a man when it counted, how he needed to be. Now, motherfuckers can make their jokes or whatever, but this nigga was probably the shortest nigga in that whole motherfucking spot, and he held his own. And my fucking favorite rapper is Eazy-E. He invented the whole shit that everybody trying to hold to. The whole street nigga rapper image, he invented that shit. And it was that nigga's real life. And he was a little nigga, and motherfuckers wasn't punking him. Period. And he ain't roll around with 100 motherfuckers like Jay Prince. But there's no disrespect to Jay Prince either. I fuck with Jay Prince because he's another short nigga putting his game down. Everybody got their different methodology.
I am who I am, and I'm gonna do what I do, right? So I'm looking. I said, look at this motherfucker. Look at this dude, right? So right there and there, I had my mind made up. I said, you know what, dude, he good. He good in my book. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess Bone was in there trying to extort him. P Nice came in there, and whatever took place between him, Bone, and 42 Dugg just came out and it just set the record straight. Like y'all think I'm gonna be a lick or whatever, right? But I ain't gonna be no licker. He came out the room and put down on everybody. So he go back in his room, right? And Bone, he come down the tier and he leave out, right? He leave out. I don't know where he go. And then P Nice come down there. He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get this motherfucker. I'm gonna get this motherfucker. Just watch. I'm gonna get that motherfucker, right? I don't care about all that loud talk. I'm from Detroit too. I don't give a fuck, man." I said, "What you say to him?" He was like, "Man, I let him."
Now this nigga is in violation. This P Nice dude. He's in violation based on this story. He trying to, like, come on now. Come on now. And even if you was gonna get him, you telling the outer towner that, come on now. I don't know who P Nice is, but you foul as fuck.
I don't know, like shit, nigga. But I want in. Nigga, I want in. I need something for him to live up in here. I said, what exactly did you say? I told that nigga, if you gonna be up in this unit, then you gonna have to pay rent. And that's when, he came out to say, no talking big. I said, how much you tell him that he was going to pay? He was like, I didn't even get to it. No, Bone kept running his damn mouth. See, Bone like to play games. Like this what P Nice telling me. He like, Bone like to play games. Bone 8'9". I give him 5 feet. Because I don't know exactly how tall he is, but I know 42 Dugg is really short. I just know he's really short. So when he come in there, I see like 5 Bloods right behind him. So I'm looking and I'm like, okay, that must be the Blood dudes that that's with him, whatever. So I see them with him, whatever, and they go over there, and they go sit down, right? So then my homeboy P Nice is over there with his crew, right? And they like having a face off. So you got 42 Dugg and like 4-5 Bloods over here, and a mean mug and an ice grilling my homeboy P Nice and his homies, right? I guess 42 Dugg let them know, like, hey man, this dude trying to press me or whatever. And he just put him on alert. And P Nice over there, and he like, yeah, it's like whatever. So me and my crew get up and we go hit the yard, right? I ain't studying it, it ain't none of my business, right? But I'm curious how this gonna go down. So we hit the yard. We over here on the basketball court, right?
Basketball. And that's another thing with the Detroit versus everybody thing. It was unspoken until somebody decided to put it on the shirt and give a name to it. We didn't walk around calling it Detroit versus everybody. It was an innate thing. See, what people need to understand about Detroit is most of our grandfathers great grandfather, whatever, was ran out of the South. A lot of them killed white people. a lot of different things. And before the ones that came up here after slavery, the black people that was here before slavery ended was black men that came from the South for a bunch of different reasons and ran away and decided they didn't want to run no further when they saw what life was for a black man in Detroit. So the mentality is different. Nobody never went out and said that when a Detroit person is outside of Detroit, that no matter how you feel about them, we supposed to stick together. Most of y'all know Detroit based on East Side, West Side. How that ended up is great grandma, kind of like the Soul Food movie, but one sister went to one side of town and one sister stayed on the other because most of us started from the east side. Most of us started from the east side, and that divide continued for generations. So you may have family on both sides that you don't really even see like that you don't really even know like that. So the identity for us to stand up and stick up for each other when outside of here comes from there. On top of how Detroit was torn down by white flight. They used white flight to tear down black wealth. And it wasn't just black wealth because white people was affected by it too. They thought the plants was just going to move to the suburbs, but then they ended up in Canada, Texas, or New Mexico. So the white people ended up taking the loss too. And that's why it's the dirty glove and we all stick together because we all got fucked in different ways and we all get fucked when we leave this bitch or they attempt to fuck us when we leave this bitch. Be it on a plane, train, or automobile. And that's been going on for a long ass time, more than 100 years ago, because the bottom half of Michigan didn't always belong to Michigan. Or was at the very least was in dispute with Ohio. That's really where the mentality comes from. And that's why the white people, the Chaldeans, the Arabs, the Palestinians, that's why everybody fits in with the Detroit versus everybody. But we already explained that earlier in the video.
So we having a 5-on-5 against the Woods, right? Whooping these white boys out. Remember that movie White Man Can't Jump? They actually have one white boy on their team that, that actually can hoop, right? But anyway, we whooping them out. We going to 21.
Now, if you a tough ass nigga, why you trying to extort 4-2, but you leave the Woods alone? And that's what bothers me about this tough shit. Because I've never been on no tough shit, but if I'm on some tough shit, then I'm running everything. Not just gonna be leaning on niggas. As a matter of fact, I want all the niggas on my side while we lean on everybody else. But y'all not doing that. And that's why I don't respect this niggas leaning on niggas shit. That's what the Italians did. We not supposed to be extorting each other.
Whooping them out. So now you see the Bloods and 42 Dugg, they hit the yard, right? And they over here, they not right by the basketball court. It's like these bleachers that's maybe 15 feet away from us. So they all over there sitting over there and they talking or whatever. I really can't hear what they talking about because I'm in the middle of this game, right? But I can hear the tone of the conversation a little bit and a body language looking like, they about to do something. So I'm letting my homeboys know, like, hey, hold on, y'all, wait a minute. Get on point, man. Because I think they finna do something or whatever. And they like, okay, so, we still hooping or whatever. And then my homeboy P. Nice come out there with his homeboys.
P. Nice, that's supposed to be from Detroit. Man.
And they beelining right over there to 42 Dugg and the Bloods. So they walking towards him now. At this time, 42 Dugg and the Bloods is like sitting on the bleachers, right? So like I said, it's about 6 of them. And then my homeboy P Nice and his crew, it's about 8 of them. So they stop like maybe 2 feet away from each other, right? And at this point, everybody on the yard is watching. We done stop playing basketball. Niggas on the track walking slow, looking. Everybody that's around, everybody looking like, oh, what's about to happen, right? Next thing I know, the homie P Nice pull out that sword of justice, right? When he pull out the sword of justice,
That mean a long ass motherfucking prison made shank.
the blood, like 2 bloods, like got in front of 42 Dugg and be like, hey, man, chill out, man. Hey, chill, right? They protecting the money. They know if something happened to 42 Dugg, you know, he's paying y'all or rolling with y'all or whatever.
And somebody, well, we know it. Dogface know what he doing on the internet. He know what he doing. Dogface put it out there and was talking shit about the Bloods protecting 4-2 when he's Crip adjacent, allegedly. Somebody from Detroit could have put that protection around him before he even got there without his knowledge, control, or anything. That's just how it goes. It's no different than if I jumped up and jumped on a plane right now and I go to fucking Florida or Texas and I post I'm in Texas. Detroit people I know, I don't know, I get along with, I don't get along with, they gonna make sure I got certain things once I get there, whether I ask for it or not. And that's just the courtesy that we extend to one another at all times.
He's doing that, y'all better do your job. And they hurry up and pushed them back and got in front of them, right? So now they arguing back and forth. Man, hey, this, that, woof de whoop, all this and that. Detroit this, Detroit that, east side, west side, all this talk, right? And we just look like,
I should have known P Nice had to be from the west side. I should have known. That must be why he thought it was cool to. That's not indicative of west side niggas that we want to rob and extort. You know what I'm saying? That's not indicative at all.
I can't believe like P Nice is about to go to war over 42 Dugg trying to get some bread out of him, right? So then one of the captains that be on the yard, he was out there with about 4 rovers. And what is a rover? A rover is basically like the lowest CEO, the lowest correctional officer in the prison. All they do is just walk around, right? They not assigned to no dormitory or no area. They just walk around. So they with this captain, and he see it unfolding. He like, all right, and y'all break that shit up, right? So they like, I bet. All right, we gonna see y'all. That's what my homeboy P Nice is saying. So they bail off, right? I don't know what happened because it happened so fast. It just happened so fast. That's why I say in prison, man, you gotta watch your back, man. You gotta watch your surroundings. Because when we resumed the basketball game, all you hear is, oh shit, right? And I look, one of the bloods that was protecting 42 Dugg poured out one of P Nice homeboys. I'm talking about the dude was holding his neck and blood was squirting everywhere. So everybody like, man, what the?
So are you saying that the guys with 4-2 Dugg put in work on the people trying to extort him?
Right? Everybody running. It's mayhem, pandemonium. Me and my crew instantly formed like Voltron, and we torpedo straight to get up out of there off the yard, right? Now, we get back to our unit or whatever. Keep in mind, 42 Dugg is in this unit also. About 5 minutes to go by, I see Dugg. He run in, right? He run up the stairs. He go to.
Now, what he left out, Dugg is in this unit without any of his blood homies. You gotta get a young man his motherfucking respect. You gotta give him his respect. Now, I know some of y'all maybe whatever when it come down to certain people, but it's certain people that I've been arguing with this whole motherfucking time. And we ain't gotta get into that. In Juan-o's opinion, this nigga did all he could do. Period. And it's clear by how he was representing it on his own without no backup that he didn't ask for the help from the Bloods. It's pretty clear somebody else, I'm not gonna say allegedly, suspectedly, who might have put the word out that y'all niggas better look out for him. I know me and him got our shit, but y'all better look out for him, period. Not gonna say who might have put that out there because I don't know, allegedly, suspectedly so. But it happened.
With sale. He locked in. So I'm curious. I'm like, man, what the fuck happened? So about 20 minutes go by, more guys is coming in, whatever. They locking everything down. Right? So more people coming in, and I'm getting more of the story. You know, one of 42 Dugg's bodyguards, you know, end up pouring out one of P Nice dudes or whatever. Now keep in mind, y'all, P Nice is in here also, but he's in this unit, but he's not in here yet, right? So then a captain come up, no, not the captain, the unit manager come in there, Big Tasha. I told y'all about Big Tasha. Okay. She come in there, she's like, everybody lock it down right now. Everybody lock it down, and y'all.
Now, when they getting to lock it down like that, you know somebody got did dirty.
On to the hole. Everybody go to y'all cell. So we like, man, so we all go lock it up, right? About 5 minutes go by. She go upstairs. She pull 42 Dugg out of his cell, right? He like, man, I don't want to go nowhere. I don't need to be no PC, man. I don't need to be. She like, listen, this is for this. We you know, just ain't for your safety.
You can't tell me this nigga. You can't. Hey. You can't tell me 42 Dugg ain't standing on his business. You can't tell me that. Listen to the story from the nigga that tried to extort him first. Can't tell me the young man ain't make the best choices for himself and represent himself properly and represent the city. You can't tell me that. That's all I'm saying. And I ain't saying nothing about nothing until I know something. And now I know something. I'm saying you can't tell me the young man, you can't tell me that. And the young man gets even more respect because he under 5 feet. And that man said, I don't gotta go to pay PC. Knowing that he on the motherfucking tier with the nigga that shot cars for over there that's bigger than him also. Knowing he ain't got no backup on the tier. You can't tell me the nigga hold out. You can't tell me that. Don't tell nobody else this young man hold out. Don't make it look like that because he did.
Liability. You are a liability and you causing a lot of issues. And you gotta go. You gotta go. So he like, man, I ain't going nowhere. Y'all gonna have to sell extract me. Y'all gonna have to sell extract me. Sell extract me.
So the young man has been proven to not only say it, do it, but stand on it, even when he outnumbered a couple times. Get this nigga his respect. Please give 42 Dugg his respect. Please do. Please do. Him being short and a nigga squeezing in on the dice game and him focusing on gambling That don't make him a hoe. They was close. They was close. They was close. But it wasn't like he chose to be that close. He was already in his role and somebody slid in and he wasn't being rude to the motherfucker. But don't tell me this young man ain't stand on business. You can't tell Juan-o 42 Dugg is a hoe. I'm sorry. The nigga stood up for himself when it counted. He got my respect.
The guards gonna come in there, whoop you out, and drag you out that cell and throw you in a hole. So he like,
so you telling me 42 was ready to get his ass whooped by the guards just so everybody knew he wasn't a hoe. Okay, let's go.
Y'all gonna have to cell extract me. She was like, listen, man, you just need to come with us. I don't want to have to go through all this, man. So he like, man, all bunk that. Y'all just gonna have to cell extract me. And she was like, so you really want us to make the fuck out of you? You want us to make the fuck out of you? I guess he sat back and thought about it. He was like, yeah, you right. So he cuffed up. They grabbed all this stuff, and that was the last time. Actually, that was the first and last time that I seen 42 Dugg.
And all this happened in 24 hours. All of it happened in 24 hours. Yo, motherfuckers say what they want to and do what they say and all of that shit. You know what? I'm gonna make a whole nother video about that. I'm gonna make a whole nother video about that. But it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. Can't tell me 42 ain't standing on business. He handled himself properly. I'm proud of that nigga. Very proud of that nigga. And I'm West Side, 6 Mile. You know what I'm adjacent to, and that's what it is. We out of this motherfucker. And notice I put that at the end so you know I'm unbiased. But this man stood on his business. He handled his candle. And it wasn't no motherfucking scandal. We out.